Hello, my name is Kaylee Buckingham-Pegg and I'm a student recruitment officer here at the University of Warwick. And I'm looking forward to talk to you today about why Warwick and how to apply to universities here in the UK. But bear with me one second while I share my screen. Hopefully you're able to see that. This is a photo from the sky of our campus, and this is to give you a good idea of what the campus looks like. So the campus is 720 acres in total. You've got your library, you've got your teaching facilities, you've got departments, buildings as well, and you've got accommodation spread around the outskirts of the campus. You've even got some lakes you might be able to spot there on the campus, and much more. I'm going to give you more detail as we go through the talk today. And this is just to give you a snippet of what's available and also how green the campus is as well, because we are situated in the outskirts of a city in the heart of England. If you look at the map, Warwick is the purple dot, and that's where the university campus is. And on the right, you can also see some other points of interest that are close by to the university. So Coventry is the closest city to us. That's around 10 minutes away on the bus. A really popular place for students to live in their second year once they've moved off the campus is Leamington Spa, and that's just 20 minutes on the bus. And you can also see that we've got London Heathrow, and that's the biggest airport in the UK. That's on the map as well, and that's only an hour and a half away from the University of Warwick. And you've got Birmingham as well, and that's around 25 minutes, and that's the UK's second biggest city. And you can see that on the map there as well. So it's really accessible to other areas and to other cities. Just so you know that the Warwick campus isn't just in the middle of nowhere, it is easy to get to other places as well. So let's start with Coventry. Coventry is the closest city. Like I say, it's 10 minutes away on the bus, really easy to get to. This picture here is of the Coventry Cathedral. It was badly bombed during World War II, but they keep this beautiful part of the building, which is still in ruins. They keep it there as a reminder of the waste and folly of war. But it's a really beautiful place to visit. And as you can see, it's still fantastic. And even though it is ruins, it's a great place to walk around. And there's also a lot of other things to go and see in the city as well. So you've got theatres, you've got restaurants, cafes, bars, lots of nightlife. And around 10% of Coventry's population is actually students. And this is reflected in the kind of activities you can do there and how busy it can be as well. And Coventry is also ranked in the top 5 best student cities in the UK, and that's in the QS Best Cities rankings. And we're also in the top 50 in the world, and we have been consistently for a few years now. Warwick is a small medieval town, so it's not actually where the University of Warwick is situated. So like I say, we are in Coventry, but Warwick is close by. So that's around 15 minutes from the University of Warwick campus. It's actually part of Shakespeare's England. So hopefully you've heard of Shakespeare, the playwright, very famous playwright, who's from the UK. So Warwick is a beautiful town. You can go and walk around. And the picture here is of the Warwick Castle. It's a historic castle, and it's very popular with tourists and locals alike. Leamington Spa I mentioned a second ago. This is one of our popular towns that's near the campus. It's around 20 minutes on the bus. This is a really popular option for students to go and live in their second year. Once they finish their first year of studies and lived on the campus for a year, this is a really common place for students to go and live. As you can see there's lots of shopping. Again, there's lots of eateries and nightlife, and it's a really nice place to be. There's even a second library and a student learning grid, like a learning hub, that's there just for University of Warwick students as well, because it's such a popular area. In terms of people that you'll encounter on the campus and at the University of Warwick itself, we've got over 28,000 students at the University of Warwick, and around 8,000 of those students are from outside of the UK, so international students like yourself. We've got just over 150 different nationalities represented from all over the world. So that's from Europe, from Asia, from the Americas, literally all over the world, that we welcome students to the University of Warwick and have been for many years. And we've also got over 6,000 staff, and they're also from all over the world, and they work in various support services across the university to help students like you. In terms of rankings, this might be a big factor in your decision making when it comes to looking at universities. So you've got 6th, 8th and 9th, and you can see the different tables here that we use in the UK. And for the last couple of years now, we're consistently in the top 10 in the UK. In terms of world rankings, the most popular one to look at is the QS World Rankings, and we are 61st in the QS World University Rankings, and then we're 78 in the Times. You might also like to look at subject rankings. There's a few different tables available, like I mentioned, the Guardian, the Complete University Guide and the Times, and then you've also got the QS World Subject Rankings as well. These are our 3 faculties here on the screen, and then you can also see underneath that all the different departments and schools that we have available within each faculty. Hopefully you can see a subject there of interest to you, and then at the bottom of the screen there I've put some of our more popular subjects. And this is business and management is also really popular. Our Warwick Business School has a fantastic reputation around the world. Statistics and maths is also very popular, particularly from students from China. And economics and engineering are all really popular as well. But of course, we do have students studying across a whole host of subjects. Like I say, there might be something of interest that you can see on the screen there. We also have undergraduate research opportunities. And this is quite unique to the University of Warwick. So we do have a undergraduate research project that you can undertake in just your, I believe it's your second year. And it's a 6-week project, and you get to work alongside our academics on a particular research project of interest to you. And then we've also got an international conference, and that happens every year as well. And that gives you an opportunity to present your research to students from other universities and to learn from peers across the world who are also taking part in this international conference. We've also got scholarships, and this is fairly unique to the University of Warwick in the sense that not many Russell Group universities have such big scholarship funds available. So this is the Warwick Undergraduate Global Excellence Scholarship for 2022, but we are set to have it for next year for 2023 as well. So if that's when you're looking to apply, don't worry, we'll still have some scholarship funding available. So for this year, we received over 2,000 applications for 250 scholarships. So that's just to remind you, it is a competitive scholarship. What we have available is 20 full fee scholarships, 160 £13,000 scholarships and £72,000 scholarships. To be eligible, you have to be self-funded, you have to be an overseas student, and you need to have applied by the January deadline. More information on that later, and hold an offer for an undergraduate course, including the foundation programme that we have here at Warwick. There's a lot more details on the website, so I'd encourage you to go and have a look at that, or feel free to drop me an email if there's any questions. In terms of employability, we've got some rankings here for you. So we are the 6th most targeted university by the UK's top 100 employers. And we have the 6th highest graduates in the UK 6 months after graduating. Those 2 facts might be really important for you if you're thinking about your career and what you'd like to do once you graduate, but also to know that you're going to get a career with a good employer, a reputable employer, and earn a decent amount of money as well. And we're also 32nd in the world for employer reputation, and that's with high flyers. And you can look up more information about that as well. But basically, it just shows that we have great connections with industry. We do work with employers to make sure that we're making you as a student of the University of Warwick more employable and offering you plenty of support to make sure that you get that job that you want when you graduate. How do we do that? How does Warwick help you with your careers? So firstly, they'll have careers fairs. Not just 1 or 2 through the year. There are several different careers fairs to suit you depending on your interests. So for example, if you're at the business school, you'll have some specific careers events just for you. Perhaps you're looking for a career in management or marketing. They will have more bespoke events available. And we also have employer presentations where employers will come in and speak to students and give them tips on what they're looking for, or advice on how the working world is at the moment and what you can do within that working world, what kind of roles are available. You can also book a one-to-one appointment with our careers experts. They can give you interview advice. They can give you CV advice. We also have workshops to help you develop the skills that are necessary to find a good job. So all of these different support services are available for you to make sure that you get the best career for you. And we even have an app. It's called My Advantage. It's just for University of Warwick students. And on there, you can see all of the part-time work opportunities available, internships, studentships, and then also graduate schemes as well. And they change and are updated regularly. And you have access as a University of Warwick student. Here's an example timetable of what you can expect when you are a student at the University of Warwick. So this is an economics student, and you can see there that it's quite packed from Monday to Friday, but then you do have your weekends free. You also have Wednesday afternoons, usually are kept free, and that's for sports activities or society activities traditionally. You are expected to spend around 10 hours study per credit, and that's including your lectures, your seminars, but you also do a lot of independent private study when you're at university here in the UK. And particularly at Warwick, you will have lots of assignments or essays. You might have oral presentations to prepare for. You might have group work. So there are lots of things that you'll be doing outside of those lectures and seminars to keep you busy and to work towards that final end goal of getting your bachelor's degree. And then don't forget, you also need to fit in socialising and sleep and any part-time work you have around that as well. So let's talk about the social side of university and your student life. We do have around 250 different student societies and 65 sports clubs for you to join. So these are all run by students for students. You've got everything from a football sports club to a swimming club or even scuba diving. We do have a swimming pool on campus. They use the swimming pool to practice, but then they do travel out to the coast to actually do scuba diving there as well. And then in terms of societies, you've got everything from the Harry Potter Society to the Tea Drinking Society. So there really is something for everybody available. And like I say, you're really close to local areas. If you want to do volunteering, there's lots of opportunities to do that. If you want to work part-time and earn some extra money, there's also plenty of opportunities for that as well. There's a few examples of societies on here as well. So you've got the Comedy Society, and you've even got the Politics Society as well, and everything in between. That's just a few examples. Feel free to check out the Warwick Students' Union website. The Students' Union It's like the voice of the students. It's there to represent you, and it's there to give you a lot more support throughout your journey at the University of Warwick. So do have a look at the Warwick Students' Union website to see more examples of the sports clubs and the societies that you can join. If you want to hear from a current student at the University of Warwick, you can go onto r.warwick.ac.uk. This is a great place to read about their experiences. And as you can see, the most recent blog on here was just on the 20th of March. So just 2 weeks ago. They're updated regularly with lots of content for you. And there'll be students doing different courses. There'll be students from different places around the world. And as you can see on the right side of the screen, there is an Ask a Blogger function as well. So if you want to ask them a question, chat to a current student and find out more about the university, then you can do that through Our Warwick. It's really easy. You just need to go to the website. Let's tell you a little bit more about those facilities that are available on the campus then. So starting with the Warwick Arts Centre, that has it has cinemas, it has a theatre, and it has some other spaces available in there as well, including an art gallery where students and other artists can put their work. There are discounted tickets available for students, and you can even work there part-time if it's something that you'd be interested in. And they play different films and they have different performances on throughout the year, and it's right on your doorstep in the centre of campus. If you're into sports, you've also got the Sports and Wellbeing Hub. Like I say, in there, you've got the swimming pool, but you've also got squash and tennis courts. You've got a climbing wall that you can access. You've got fitness studios, and of course, a brilliant gym as well. It's really affordable for students, and it's a really popular sports and wellbeing hub on the campus again itself. It's really easy to get to, and it's a fantastic facility for you to have if you're into fitness and wellbeing. You've also got the Faculty of Arts building. So if you're an arts student or a humanities student, you will find yourself in this building for much of your teaching. It was finished very recently and it launched very recently as well. It's an 8-storey building and it's beautiful inside, as you can see. But as a University of Warwick student, even if you're not an arts or a humanities student, you can still access the study spaces in there. And there's a cafe as well on the bottom floor. You've also got the Oculus. This is a building just for teaching, and it can be accessed by, again, any Warwick student. It's a multidisciplinary space, so you might find yourself having a lecture or a seminar in there at some point through your Warwick journey. And then finally, this is the Piazza. This is a real great meeting point for our students. As you can see, there's lots of students sat around there. Many students will meet up with their peers when it's lunchtime or throughout the day to have a snack, have their lunch, and just enjoy the weather if it's not raining. And that's close to where the Students' Union building is and where many of our cafes and restaurants that you have on the campus itself, they're very close to there as well. We've even got our own supermarket just at the top of the steps there. So any groceries that you need, you can buy from campus, as well as obviously bigger supermarkets that are close by to the campus as well. We do want you to feel at home when you're at the University of Warwick. You can live on the campus for the first year of your studies. We have over 7,000 bedrooms available for students. And most of that is for undergraduate students like yourself. I'll just give you an idea of some of the options. So we have Lakeside. That's a really popular option for international students. And yes, you've guessed it, it's near a lake and there's lots of geese and other wildlife there. All of our accommodation is self-catered. So if you don't know how to cook, now is a good time to start learning. And then you've also got different options between private ensuite bathroom and then also shared bathrooms as well. Okay, after After all this, if you think, yes, I'm going to apply to study in the UK, you might like some more advice on how to do that. So the first thing is to go to ucas.com. And UCAS is the Universities and Colleges Admissions Service. So it starts with U at the top, and then you go through UCAS to apply to 5 different universities or courses. Once your application goes to those universities, then it goes through to their admissions teams, and they will score your application, and they'll read through every part of your application to make a decision on whether they'd like to offer you a place on their course or not. Consider your entry requirements. So I believe you're studying the IB. So look at the IB scores that each university you're interested in is looking for. So at the University of Warwick, they do range from 34 points up to 40 points. It really depends on the programme that you're interested in. This can all be found on the university website. Some subjects require specific HL requirements, so do look out for that as well. Some don't, but for example, if you want to study engineering, you will need maths and physics at HL level. For our courses, we also ask for higher level English with a 4 or a 5. Again, it depends on the course, so do make sure you check those entry requirements. I also want to highlight that these are minimum entry requirements. So say, for example, for management, if you're interested in studying at the Warwick Business School and the course requires 38 to 39 IB points. If you meet that 39 IB points in your predicted grades, that's fantastic. You can be considered for a place, but it doesn't guarantee you a place just because you meet the minimum entry requirements. The University of Warwick is a competitive institution. We are in the Russell Group. We're one of those 424 members of the Russell Group. So it does mean that there are generally a lot more applications to the places that we have available. So these are minimum entry requirements. The better chance you have of getting a place at the university is scoring higher than those minimum entry requirements. Let's take a look at the UCAS form. These are all the different areas of the form that you're going to have to fill out. And they're all equally important. I want to just concentrate on your personal statement though for a second. If you don't know, you do have to write a personal statement as part of your UCAS form. And let's go through these. So allow plenty of time for planning and preparation. So by having this presentation now, you are getting ahead and you're already starting to think about that personal statement. Spelling, grammar and punctuation must be perfect. If you think this is your first opportunity to kind of sell yourself to the universities that you're applying to and speak to the admissions team and why should they choose you? So that spelling and that grammar and the punctuation, it does need to all be great. It does all need to be proofread multiple times. And that's another reason why you should give yourself plenty of time. There's 4,000 characters or 47 lines available when you write your personal statement. So it's not too long, it's not too short. Hopefully you'll find it just right to get in everything you want to write about yourself, about your interests, about your motivation for the programme that you're interested in. And this is your chance in these 47 lines to sell yourself to the university. It's a good idea to write it in your preferred word processing software because that will pick up any obvious errors at first, and then you can go back through and proofread, and I'm sure your teachers will help you as well. And then you can just copy and paste it from that Word document into the UCAS form on the website. Don't copy. I think it goes without saying, but plagiarism is a huge no-no. Please don't copy from peers or anything you've seen on the internet, and because they do have plagiarism detection software. Basically, your personal statement goes through a system and it will let the admissions team know if there's any similarities with other personal statements that have been written before, and pick up if you've just simply copied somebody else's personal statement. So do avoid that. and make sure that you submit before your school's deadline. Usually schools will have an internal deadline that's just before the main UCAS deadline, which I'm going to give you in a second. So your personal statement, what is it? Like I say, it needs to show your commitment for the subject and your motivation to study the programme that you have chosen. So can you tell us about your interests? Where did your interest stem from? Where does your motivation come from? Where's your passion for the subject come from? And what wider reading have you done? So have you read any articles around the subject? Can you talk about any current affairs that are happening right now that are affecting your subject or might be impacting the research that's happening around your subject? Any other books that you've read? And what about your current studies? Are you studying something about this subject in particular that's really piqued your interest? And perhaps you've been on a school field trip or done some volunteering. Anything like that would be fantastic to read about on your personal statement. Anything that's related to the studies that you would like to do. And then we want you to focus on critical evaluation. So don't just talk about what studies you've done or what wider reading you've done. Can you go into detail about your findings in this reading that you've done? And then more supporting evidence as well. So like I say, any relevant work experience, any relevant volunteering that you've done, or any subject related activities. If you'd also like to talk about your career aspirations, that's really useful for the admissions tutors to see. If you can talk about the kind of career you'd like to go into and how your degree will help you get there, and perhaps how you'd like to give back to the community in the future. Anything like that that just shows your focus and your determination to succeed in this subject. So a little more about critical evaluation to give you a better idea of what I mean. Here's an example quote for a student that's thinking about studying economics. So you could write, I regularly read The Economist and have explored various other works such as Free Economics and Thinking Fast and Slow. That comment is completely fine. But it doesn't go into too much depth and it doesn't evaluate what they found in their reading. So what's better is wanting to better understand X. So this could be a particular economic theory. I decided to read Thinking Fast and Slow. It challenged my presumption that X. And then they're going to continue that sentence with what they found in their readings, what they found interesting, and their own conclusions that they've drawn from this article or book that they've read. And so think about it, if you do write essays or you do assignments at school, you don't just copy and write what you've learned in terms of what other people have written in books. You'll come to your own conclusions, your own findings, and discuss the outcomes of what you have found when you've read those articles and those books. And that's what we want to see, you explaining and evaluating in your personal statement. So just a little bit more example here on how you can do that. So take economics, and then you can further break it down. So don't just say you're interested in economics, be more specific. Can you break it down into a more specific, a smaller category or topic? And then from there, even further, digging even deeper, is there a particular theory, a particular part of those specific topics that interest you? Why do you like it? So really, really dig down deep and really pull apart the reasons why you're interested in your subject and give very specific examples, because that can really help an admissions tutor to choose you. Remember, admissions tutors are looking for an academically focused, analytically engaging statement about your interest in your chosen programme of study. So just to mention, that deadline that I mentioned before, it's 25th of January 2023, and that's if you're looking to apply to university for next September, so September 2023. That is the deadline that you need to apply for. But of course, you will have an internal school deadline usually that you need to meet before that. A couple of common myths around personal statements. So the first one is admissions tutors don't read personal statements or references. That's not true at all. Like I say, it's very important to your application. We have hundreds and thousands of applications that come to the University of Warwick. So to make sure you stand out against other students who have very similar, exactly the same grades as you, we then use the personal statement to pick students apart and pick the best students for the University of Warwick. So they are very important. Another common myth, the sooner I get my application in, the more likely I will be to get an offer. Again, that's not true. You just need to make sure you apply by that deadline that I just mentioned, so the 25th of January, and then you will be equally considered among everybody else who has applied by that deadline. So what happens next? Once you've made your application, it's been sent off to those 5 university choices, they can either come back to you with what we call an unconditional offer, and that means there's no conditions attached. They're very happy to have you regardless of what you get, and they're just going to take you based on your predicted grades. That doesn't happen too often, but if you're lucky, or if you've already finished your exams last year for some reason, then that might happen. What's more common is you would be given a conditional offer, and that means, yes, we'd like to have you come to study with us at the University of Warwick, but there are some conditions attached, and those conditions are usually attached to your predicted grades. So you say you're going to score 39 IB points. Well, the condition of this offer is that you could get those 39 IB points or above, and you need to have, for example, a 5 in English HL. But again, it depends on the course that you're applying to, and those conditions do differ depending on the course and the university that you're applying to. But that's the most common offer that you'll get. Or you might be made unsuccessful, which means you've had a rejection and the university isn't willing to consider you this time. Then once you get your offers back from the universities, and this can take varying amounts of time depending on the institution and how popular the programme is that you're applying for, then you'll make your firm choice or your first choice, and then you'll also make your insurance choice as well, which is otherwise known as your second choice. So you'll pick 2 universities out of the 5 that are most popular or seem the most interesting to you that you'd like to go and study. So how should I prepare? From now, you've got plenty of time to start looking at university websites, have a look at their entry requirements, look at their online prospectuses and their course search. You can see all the different programs that they have to offer. UCAS.com is a good starting point to see all the different universities, but then do go on the individual websites as well. Have a look at virtual tours of universities. In a second, I'm going to share the link with you for the University of Warwick's campus tour. Have a look around the universities. Many of them will have virtual tours available, and they'll have lots of videos and footage of the campus or the city and the facilities that they have. And that should give you a better feel for the university. As well, you might like to join a university open day. If you can come to the UK, that's fantastic. If not, don't worry, lots of universities do have virtual open days where you can hear from academics and current students and even alumni to find out more about the university, their accommodation and the student life as well. Now is the time to start that wider reading, perhaps read some published articles, some books that your teachers recommend you outside of your current studies. These can really help you to have something to talk about on your personal statement. And you might like to start looking for part-time work experience or volunteering opportunities if that's something that you're able to do. And then just take some time to think about what is right for you. Don't just pick somewhere to please your parents or your peers, but really do that research so you can choose the right university for you. You're going to live there and study there for 3 or even longer, 3 years or longer. So do make sure it's the right choice for you. And then finally, with your personal statement, just remember you really do need to proofread it, have someone else proofread it, and make sure it's perfect before you send it off. Here is the link for the Warwick virtual campus tour. If you can't find it easily via typing it in, do just pop Warwick Virtual Tour into your search engine on the internet and you'll be able to find it. And like I say, have a look around the campus through that virtual tour and get a feel for the University of Warwick. And then we've got some undergraduate open days coming up that I very much welcome you to attend. If you can make it to the UK, the ones that are in person are in June and October. And then virtually, if you'd like to attend via your laptop, you can do that, and they're in July and November. So lots of opportunities to engage with other members of staff here at the university, as well as Warwick students, Warwick alumni, and many, many more people as well, and find out more about the institution. This is me. You've got my email there if you have any further questions. And also I believe your teacher is in contact with our China team, who are based in Beijing and Shanghai. Thank you very much for listening to me today. I do wish you a wonderful day, and thank you and good luck.